Hi Guy, welcome to my first ByteCast. These are basically designed to be short little episodes just to pass the time in between the main episodes. Basically just to have a chat around things that interest us on the retro scene. I wanted to start off with something special to me. I mean, as you probably gathered from the last episode when I was going on about Monkey Island series and graphic adventure games on a whole, I was really into these games as a kid. You know, I had a Amiga, PC. I really spent some time, hours and hours going through these games. Loved them to bits, and probably one of my favourite games towards the end was Grim Fandango. And I was just going through my notes and bits of paperwork from years ago, and I actually found a review I wrote of the game back in, it would have been 99, 98, not too far after when the game came out. So I'll just read this out. Don't worry, it's not too bad, I don't think. Here we go. Every once in a while, a game comes along which forces the games industry to review just how good a game should be made. Grim Fandango completely redefines the graphic adventure genre and still manages to add that little bit extra. The game borrows quite heavily from the film noir period with its quick and snappy one-liners, dark alleyways, bars and labyrinth-like plot. Set in the land of the dead, you play the role of Manny Calavera, a Grim Reaper/travel agent who reaps the souls of the recently departed and ushers them on to a 4-year journey to eternal rest. However, things have not been going too well for Manny lately, and he has found himself falling behind his sales quotas. Meanwhile, Manny's main rival, Domino Hurley, seems to be getting all the praise and choice souls. It is your job to help Manny out of this sales rut and find out what the connection is between Domino and Manny's boss, Don Copel. The difference between Grim and graphics adventures of old is that Manny is now the interface instead of an action bar on part of the screen. For example, when Manny walks past an item of interest, his head turns to look in that direction. By pressing the relevant key, Manny will make a comment or pick the item up. Grim does away with the old inventory bar as Manny's jacket now acts as the inventory, and any items you pick up are accessible with him. Grim's fantastic local art is inspired by ancient Aztec history that can be seen to effect throughout the 100 game location. Each location has its own musical score, which has the upbeat of jazz and swing era bebop, my personal favourite being the score outside the nightclub in Rubicava. Grim is considerably large with puzzles that will keep even the most ardent gamer occupied with a period of roughly 25 hours to complete. A truly magnificent game worthy of space in anybody's game collection. The end. I mean, I wrote that a long time ago, but you'll have to mind how terrible it might have sounded. I was only about 18, 19 at the time, but for adventure games before then, like I said, they'd all been point and click, and they had great funny stories like the Monkey Island series, for example. You know, had the high comedy, you had things like Flight of the Amazon Queen, and really great stories and things like this. But you know, Grim Fandango come along, it had this, it's hard to describe now, but thinking back, it had this amazing atmosphere. And one of my favourite parts of the game, as I said in that interview at the time, was you take over this club in Rubicava. You'd start off in this area with Manny being a cleaner, you know, mopping the floor up after this guy goes off to find his wife, and then it time jumps forward a couple of years, and all of a sudden Manny's converted into this hip, like I say, 30s, 40s nightclub with a big flash white suit, Larry style, so, cool talking and all the rest of it, and then the music that just kicks in, you know, it's all like trumpets and saxophone, that sort of thing, and it was just absolutely amazing. I'd never played anything like it before. I mean, the atmosphere was just so intense. It was roughly around this time when, as sound cards were becoming so much more advanced and 3D engines had really started to take off, and it just drew you in, and it was just an absolutely fantastic game to play. And sorry to gush a bit, but the main reason I brought it up is because it's coming out again. They basically announced earlier this year that the Double Fine Productions, the original guys they were LucasArts back then, but they're basically taking it on and they're doing a reconversion and a HD edition for the PS3, I think PS4 and PC. So that's due out within the next, I think it's about 18 months. I mean, I was absolutely amazed to hear that, because it's just not something you ever expected to hear. I mean, I don't think you can't get Grim Fandango anywhere by now. I mean, literally, if you want to play it, you've got to either get a patch online, which fans have made, to make it run with latent versions of Windows. I mean, you know, it's not on Steam, it's not on GOG or anything like that. And I don't know why LucasArts have not re-released it. I mean, playing it back today, it's a bit clunky. I mean, when I went on about in that review, I mean, at the time, I was absolutely gobsmacked by the way the inventory worked and the way he would look at things, and, you know, you would reach into the jacket to pull things out. It's a bit more clunky now than what I remember it being. But again, at the time, when you were used to big, huge bars at the bottoms, which were like pick up, open, close, push, pull, that sort of thing, and then all of a sudden you're in this, you know, it's one guy, looks left, looks right. I mean, before this, the last good game this sort of thing was like Full Throttle, and that had it kept the menu bar, but it was hidden. I mean, you'd right click and they'd compress the menu bar into like a single round icon with a couple of symbols around the edges, like push and pull with just literally one hand icon, and then there was a boot for kicking through doors, that sort of thing. So LucasArts were pushing to simplify that sort of interface more and more, but Grim Fandango just did away with it completely. But yeah, looking back, you know, it really was an incredible game, and I am gushing a bit about it. But what can I say? You know, at the time, I absolutely loved it to bits. I mean, you can probably pick up a copy now for peanuts on eBay, but what probably most people will do will get some sort of pirate version and download it. But I say, have a look around on the web, whatever version you get, because there are patches out there to improve it and fix some of the problems, and you want it playing as it should be seen, especially with the music. I mean, I'll certainly be buying it when it comes out in the next year or so. I'm praying above all that they also do like an iPad version, because I'd love to have that portable with me as well all the time. So yeah, that's my recommendation for the month. As always, guys, thanks for listening, and keep your ears open, because there'll be another episode of the podcast coming soon.